Hi, welcome back to Me and More. This is a channel where I talk about slow travel. About a year ago, my husband and I decided to make a big life change. We sold everything we owned to slow travel, and these videos are about our experiences along the way, which I hope that you will find helpful. So let's jump right into this one. It's about Merida, Mexico, and our expenses while we were there. You all seem to like when I put up videos about how much money it cost us in each city or country, so I hope that you'll find this helpful. So let's talk about what our budget was for the 22 days that we were in Merida, which we allot about $164 a day, and that roughly averages out to $5,000 a month or $60,000 a year. And that represents just our travel budget. We have another budget that is just our reoccurring costs that we would have no matter where we were, and we kind of keep them in a separate category. So for this trip, we had a total of $3,616.36 that was available to us to use while we were there. So let's dive right in and see how we did. So the first one is flights, and for this one it came out to be, I have a cheat sheet here, $309.10, and that was the portion of our overall flight to get us to Mexico, how much I allotted to Merida, so that we don't have to allot the whole flight to get to wherever our initial destination is of a travel leg. We just kind of span it out or divide it out amongst the whole time that we were there. So no particular city takes a big hit on how much it costs us to get to that part of the world to begin our travels. So $309.10 is a portion of our overall flight to get us to Mexico from New Jersey. Our next thing is talk about transportation in general. So we did fly from, sorry, I keep looking down. We did fly from Mexico City to Merida. That flight cost us $289. That was both for me and for Raphael. And so the balance of that transportation money was Ubers that we took while we were in Merida. And if you watched my video about our time in Merida, I talked about how hot it was and humid while we were there. So mostly we walk everywhere. Like, I'm filming this, we're in Warsaw, Poland right now, and we are walking probably 4 or 5 miles every day, but it was just so hot while we were there. I just didn't want to walk. So we took a lot of Ubers, which are actually very, very inexpensive overall in Mexico. So that transportation cost again was $289 for our flight from Mexico City to get to Merida, and then the rest was pretty much in Ubers while we were there. So the next bucket on our list for cost is accommodation, and it came to $1,205 for the 22 days we were there, which is really 21 nights. That was for 3 weeks in Merida, and I'll put the video back up here. You can see we had a really nice Airbnb. The neighborhood was good. We loved having the pool. It was very, more than enough room for the two of us. We had a little kitchen area. And so, yeah, that was the cost of our Airbnb. We liked it. As I've said in our previous video, it was a little off the beaten path, but I'll certainly put the link down below in case you're interested. We were, well served by this Airbnb. So the next thing on our list is groceries. We spent a total of $627 on groceries, which may seem like a lot for 3 weeks, but we ate in a lot. Like, I think we only went out to dinner really a handful of times while we were there, so we did cook in most of the time. And groceries were really expensive. In Mexico in general, we found the same in Mexico City and in San Miguel when we were there for a month, that groceries were as much as they were at home. So there was really no savings on the grocery side. So we did spend quite a bit on groceries. The next category is restaurants, and we spent a total of $415 on restaurants. I know that seems like a lot of money for somebody who just said that we didn't eat out a lot, but again, eating out was expensive. And I think our first night there, we didn't know where we were going or what we were doing, and we went to this restaurant. It literally cost us $80 $5 for, probably what it amounted to, a pizza and a salad and no doubt lasagna for Raphael. But we did find this great Italian place that we went to 3 times, I believe, where the food was really, really, really good. And it was just my favorite, so we kept going. But yeah, we spent $415 on eating out, which to me is a lot because we just didn't eat out that much. But it is what it is, right? So the next is pastry and bread, which we've given Raphael that very special category because he loves bread and he will go out and seek a baguette no matter where we are. So I think there's some ice cream and coffee maybe thrown into that category as well. So that was $66 for the entire time that we were there. Next is sightseeing. We spent $83 on sightseeing. We took a walking tour like the first or second day that we were there, and then we also did the hop-on, hop-off bus as well. So the sightseeing that it accounted for those 2 trips, if you will. Next is personal care. So we spent a total of $44 on personal care. I spent a total of $44 on personal care because I bought tretinoin while I was in Merida. It was my last stop in Mexico to get tretinoin without a prescription. So I did buy some there. Now people have said that it's cheaper elsewhere, and some people can get it in the States less than that with their prescription, but I don't have a prescription for it back in the States. So anyhow, it was a small price to pay for me to get tretinoin, so I was happy about that. Shopping. We spent $88 on shopping. I just kind of looked at the notes before I jumped on to do this video. $34 of that was for a pot that I bought at a supermarket a couple days after we got there to cook pasta in. So it just wasn't a pot big enough at the Airbnb, and I did message the host asking her for a bigger pot, and she never accommodated it. So we cook a lot of pasta. I cook a lot of pasta while we're away, and then I often like to make a pot of soup, and so I needed a pot. But it was, you could have gone to Walmart and gotten a cheap aluminum pot for probably $10, but it was an induction range, and you can only use a certain type of magnetic. I think it has to be. It's like almost like magnetic. I know I'm wrong about that, but whatever. Don't leave comments about how wrong I was about how an induction range works. But anyway, so I had to get this special pot for $34. So if you're watching this video and you end up going to this Airbnb and staying there, you're welcome for the big pot that you can now cook soup in, or in my case, pasta. So let's see. And then the other $40-some, honestly, we bought 1 or 2 Christmas ornaments, and I couldn't even tell you what the rest was for. I'm sorry to say, but $88 in just shopping that wasn't groceries or personal care. So I think we have some weird $2.91 hanging out somewhere for something else we bought. So anyhow, that I feel like I'm out of breath, like I rushed through that, but. So that takes us to, so remember our budget was $3,616. Drum roll, we ended up spending a total of $3,243.58 while we were in Merida. So we saved, or we were under budget by $372, which is a good thing, right? Certainly helps to offset those cities where we were over budget. Mexico City, the place that we had come from, being one of them. Didn't even touch the surface for what we were over budget for Mexico City, but excuse me, I'm beginning to learn that our budget is our budget, but we're not getting to the end of the month and eating peanut butter and jelly because we have no more, because we're over budget. It is certainly a parameter that we use so that we can really watch how much money we're spending. I think what we're doing is something, or an opportunity, that most people don't get to do. And so when things come our way, we don't necessarily say, well, we're not going to do that because we don't have any more money in the budget left for today, or the week or the month or the city or whatever. So, but we still use it as a guideline, and I don't know, there's this weird excitement when you come in under budget. I think other full-time slow travelers can attest to that. Anyhow, So that's it for Merida. Again, we were very happy, $372 under budget. Just to wrap it up, we didn't, it was fine there. If you're going to go to Merida, I would suggest a couple days to go and see the city. It's definitely worth seeing, but a 3-week stay was probably 2 weeks and 3 days too long for us. But we've been there now, and I think there's going to be hits and misses along the way. But anyhow, that said, that's it. That's our budget for Merida. And yeah, tune in soon. We'll go on to the next city, which will be, we were in Puerto Rico for a month. So my next video will be about our stay in Puerto Rico. Until then, have joy in your life, travel, have fun. Take care. Bye-bye.